Hi friends, this is Andy Day again. In my series of videos today on the book I wrote, Sales Not Merely a Numbers Game, there is a chapter on what are actually the customer objections or stalls that a typical salesperson faces in the process of making the sale. And I have kind of summarized it in a very simple process. Either this is money, or they don't have time to think about it, or they don't need it, or it's not urgent to them, or finally they don't trust you. MTNUT. Those are the five. Out of these five beasts, like they say, 80% of the sales are made by 20% of the people, and 20% of the sales are made by 80% of the people. Truth to that statement, if you take a survey, we found out that the biggest objection why a salesman shines or leaves the team is the number one objection called money. Customers never have money to buy. This is the funniest part of all. So how to overcome that objection? So basically, when you are presenting a proposal, my first suggestion would be people buy you. They don't buy your piece of paper or your email. So please refrain from just sending the quotation over the mail, because what is actually happens is there is somebody XYZ sitting in front of the computer reading your mail, going through the quotation, and then he'll just ignore everything you wrote about whatever the service or whatever the product is and go to the last page and find out what the pricing is. And in a phone call, he'll say, hey boss, you know what, this company mailed us the proposal, the pricing is this. So all your labor boils down to the last page. People never think that when it comes to your family, say for example, your kid is sick, do you open the yellow pages or the phone book and dial the number, sir, or the doctor? Are you the cheapest doctor in town? Why not? If that is not the case, you're talking about protecting your home, the biggest investment you made in my kind of industry, or maybe whatsoever. Say for example, rodent is chewing on the wires of a CT scan machine, thousands and thousands of dollars. Which is more important to you? A basic maintenance service to prevent those rodents from chewing those, or the CT scan machine that is minting you money every day. Customers don't always think that way, but a good salesperson's job is to make them think that way. So my number one suggestion is never bring up money when you are discussing a proposal. Try to sit across the table, go page by page, what all you are offering and how is it going to benefit the customer. Remember, I talked about the needs. So one by one, answer the features of your company, how is going to cater to the needs of the customer. At the end, keep the price for the last. Research your company very well, the company that you are presenting to. If that's a commercial B2B business. If that's a residential property, again, you have to go by certain demographics. But once you do the research, you know a lot about that company, what kind of investments they made last year, what kind of expectations was fulfilled, and where the other company lost. So you have all that information. Now, start to break down each step of the process, adding value, financial value to each one of them. So I'll share an example. Say for example, you are selling a pen, and each itemized description of that pen that adds value to that customer will make more sense to him. Like say for example, rodents, like I was saying, rodents are chewing on the wires. Okay, so how much does the scan machine cost, and what kind of investments is getting protected by preventing that rodent to chew that wire? Or number two, that has a value to it. Then a regular check after purchase. The biggest thing the customer of today is worried about is after purchase satisfaction. They do not know who they bought. They bought you because they liked you for some reason. But if you are one of those kinds that, okay, sir, you have signed the agreement, so I'm done with it. See you at the time of renewal. Don't go that route. That'll, you'll fail. Very shortly you'll fail. So you need to cater to their needs and give them the peace of mind that they are paying for. Use the stacking formula. Stacking formula means benefit, 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 price. Benefit, benefit, price. Benefit, 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 price. That's called the stacking formula. In that way, you are convincing the customer about every step of the service or every step of the product that you are delivering, that he is mentally calculating or adding up the value as you go along. Then give him options. Like we have the gold card, the platinum card, the silver card. Make up a number. Say, for example, you want the customer to buy X amount of stuffs from you or this service at this cost. Keep it in the middle. Get something a little higher value looking at his budget or something like that, because you have already researched the company. Keep something below that margin where not all the features are getting offered at that service. So, and try to get your target pricing or the target service right in the middle for him to, give an option. Ask any human being, okay, choose a number between 1 and 5. The answer is 3. Choose a number between 1 and 10. Usually prefer 7 or 5. So use that mental psychology to put your pricing in the middle, give him options so that he takes a pride that, what, I made a good decision from out of 3 or 4 choices I had. Then the final thing I would recommend to overcome the pricing objection is to research your competition. Because after you have convinced everything, you have done everything to the customer, explaining, negotiating the pricing, the last thing they're going to say is, you know what, Andy, I liked everything you said, but let me check with some other guys that expressed interest in my company. That's exactly where your homework comes into play. You're not going to badmouth any company. You're going to say, okay, as I represent this XYZ company, now company ABC is going to come in and give you this for this. And because I have already researched my companies, now again a company EFG is going to come over here and offer you this for this price. Given the budget and the requirements you have, Mr. Jones or whoever is the buyer, out of these 3 companies with this 3 pricing, if you have to pick the right one, what would your choice be? Pause. Whoever talks first after the close loses. Let him speak. Because he is trying to trust you. Then once you show him real numbers, or you have already done his research, he feels gratified by the fact that you have already done the legwork for him when you walked into his office. And you are serious about his business because you have already done your required research that, okay, if he is using another company, because you do not go to a multinational company and ask him, if it is in my industry, that, sir, have you ever used a pest control company before? It's a stupid question. You should be knowing that, whether he has used it, who he has used for what budget and where he failed. You're not going to bring those, budgetary numbers that you paid this company that. But the surprising fact is most intelligent customers also will give you a stall. They'll say that, can you do it for the same price what my previous company was doing? Not realizing that the previous company failed at that price, but they want to get you back the same kind of contract, not willing to pay a penny bit more. That's where your skills about sales and breaking it down, the stacking formula, do not discuss money until the end, and then research your competition, close the sale. So please, if the pricing part scares you, leave your sales job right away, because this is not for you. I have seen salespeople coming to my sales room saying, sir, this is going to cost you that. And then the facial expression goes, what? Wow. As if he was not expecting the customer to say it's too expensive. Customers will say that, but you have to take it and pass it. You need to know and understand and rehearse how you are going to come back. Mr. Jones, I can understand, I can appreciate the fact what you are telling me now. But let me ask you this. What are your expectations from this service that you are willing to pay for? Let him speak. And then if he is qualifying the prospect is a big thing, like I mentioned in the book, because half of the time, actually more than half of the time, people spend their wheels, talking to the wrong person. They think that, well, that I'm the boss of the company. In Hindi, there is a term, like Jila se bada gaon. That means the village is actually bigger than the district. Sometimes it happens in corporates. Some people pretend to be the boss, and then you come to know after 75% through the conversation that he's not the boss. He's going to say, hey boss, this guy came in and told me this. So you have to qualify that earlier. Are you the person that is going to make a decision on this? Now, if you're using an existing provider, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you rate them? If the rating is 9.5 out of 10, please give me your business card and leave, because no matter what, perception is reality. That customer is not going to change the service. But if he is rating 6 or 5, then that means actually he is 2 or 3, because he doesn't know you. And he is telling 5 or 6, rating a existing company in that range. Yes, you got an opportunity out there. Capitalize on that, build the value, read my book, Sales Not Merely a Numbers Game. In order for you to contact me, 916-3333-501, Andy Day. And my email ID is there in my LinkedIn, deanindia92@gmail.com. Please give me your feedback. More videos to come, chapter by chapter, walking you through different aspects of the modern day business. Thank you.